Alright, hello everyone on the second channel. Late stream today. Busy day. Let's go live. Let's get on the chat as well. Alright, let's get on the chat. Oh, 3 away from 400 videos. I've definitely made more than that. Just deleted some of my old ones, but yeah, I hope everyone's doing alright. While we get into Shabino. Let me just share this. Streaming. And let's stick it on the Twitter as well. Not sure how long I'll do this one today. Like I said, tired. I also have to watch, maybe we'll watch a bit of it together. I don't know if we'll be able to do that though. I'm making my second part to like the Abby Shapiro Bioshock thing tomorrow. But I've got to watch like 2 hours of her playing Bioshock. Which I really cannot be bothered to do at all. So that's going to be fun. Hi Spooky Kitty, thanks for joining. Hello Frill House, great name. It's all coming up Millhouse lately for me. No, it's not. But yeah, today I just wanted to talk about are conservatives just dumb? Or are they more sinister? Wait, where are we gone? I thought we were looking at the Shapiro's Twitter. Yeah, so wait for more people to join and we'll talk more about it. What else did I want to say? Might look at some comments I've been getting on some of my other videos lately and just respond to them. I hope you guys have enjoyed the videos lately. I'm looking at the channel now. I've been doing pretty well. I'd say we're averaging about 10k. Minimum we're doing each video is 5k, which is pretty cool. This month's been okay, not my best, not my worst. I think that Get Out Good At video from last week is making up a lot of ground for me in terms of the monthly views. The one last night was fun to make. Learn about Lebanese politics, wrote that on Twitter, which I didn't know too much about. What else did I say? And I guess like my Israel content, because I just realised I've made 1, 2, 3. I made 4 videos in a row talking about Israel. So might talk about a bit more, a couple of different things with everything else. So where's my pen? Just get my little notebook. It's been a busy week. Went on Mike from PA's stream on Tuesday. Went on someone else's channel today. That'll be up on Saturday. I'll post it in my community tab. And then what else? Oh yeah, I just got an absolutely like. Do you guys ever get this? I was just about so I went for a big walk with one of my friends today. It was pissing with rain, and then I got in and I did this like YouTube podcast interview thing, which was fun for about an hour. And then I just had an absolutely huge, like I was just about to work out and I was like, okay, work out. The interview's not, finish at like 9ish. Work out and then I'm going to jump on, eat my dinner and then jump on the stream. And then just like had this absolutely crippling headache. And I just had to lie on my bed, just feeling all sorry for myself, being like, oh, can't work out now. I've got to watch Abby Shapiro's Bioshock stream at some point and make notes on it. So I'm just ticking off my stuff. So yesterday, if you guys want some behind the scenes stuff, don't know if you'll be able to see this. So I write my week out, and it feels good to tick stuff off when I do it. So yesterday I had Israel celeb video, exercise, tick, I did that. Today I had interview, exercise, walk, and stream. And I missed out the exercise bit. And then tomorrow I got Abby Shapiro video and exercise. But I'm meant to be going to like someone's birthday, so I'm definitely getting the video done. I just need to be better with the exercise, to be honest. The thing is, in the UK, I've been doing less exercise as the lockdown has lifted, whereas like people have been doing the exact opposite, where they've been doing more as it's lifted. I just run out of time. I'm so bad with time management. Like, the YouTube's all I'm focused on. So at least, okay, I'll cross out the exercise. I can tick. I can tick the rest of the day. But I like having like a little a schedule to tick off. It makes it more like satisfying to achieve stuff. It's really fucking like weird and psychological. But it also lets me look back at the weeks and see where I did what. It's helpful for keeping like a bit of a tracker on things. So you got a couple of you in here now. We'll start talking in a sec. I'm gonna just read some comments. Hi Connor, thanks for joining. So I did a interview with the Progressive American who's in the chat today. Interview / discussion, because we talked about politics as well. And I'm gonna put that on the community tab, like I said, on Saturday. My face is really glowing, isn't it? Going to put that on the community tab on Saturday and go check that out because it's a good conversation. Love your content, man. Thanks, Zachary. So Pot saying fascists love uninformed voters, so they appeal to their fan base. To us, those might seem like dumb points, but remember to who it's addressed. Yeah, that's a good point as well. Shapiro is a 90s rom-com villain. Are American conservatives just stupid? Yes, very yes, maybe. Hey Zerus, thanks for joining. So Shapiro is 100% grifter because he takes money from the Wilkin brothers. Yeah, so that's the main point of it, isn't it? It's like, are these people dumb, or are they just like ridiculous grifters? Maybe we'll talk about Dave Rubin as well. Yeah, basically her brother. Supposed to have you, thank you. But yeah, thank you for having me on Progressive American / Connor. It was fun. Watching Shapiro videos burns enough calories as your neurons fire widely trying to pass what fucking idiocy they're trying to justify at any given point. Hi Ashley, thanks for joining. Marrow Cat, why not both? True. All right, so this might be a fun one. We'll start with Dave Rubin actually, because Ben Shapiro is too easy. So it's on my own channel. Let's find this video. So I have this video about how the right wing radicalized people. That's not what I want to talk about. So I've played this before, and it's basically like comparing Dave Rubin to Dave Rubin now. What's this advert for? Get the fuck off. All right, so it's like, so it's Dave Rubin like when he was a progressive, and like it's just funny shit. Like here, where is it? Is this the one I'm talking about? Okay, like I played this like a couple of weeks ago, I think. So here is Dave Rubin. Oh wait, I just want to see if you guys can hear this first. All right, put W in the chat if you can hear this. Let me turn it up.
They just are an endless cacophony of hilarity.
Put W in the chat.
Sean Hannity. Here is some compilation of what Sean Hannity thought about the NSA and spying and that sort of thing when Bush was president. That's George W. Bush.
All right, so here's Dave Rubin
what he thinks about it
Sean Hannity,
now that Obama's president. That is exactly why I wanted to do this show and why I started this whole thing, because the media is actually worse than the government. He loved it when it was for Bush. He hates it now that Obama's doing the exact same thing. Is this just like the height of hypocrisy? And can we expect anything better?
What's Hannity?
So we just...
He's like the most eye-rolling, ridiculous character now. He's surpassed O'Reilly. Like, at least O'Reilly usually will retain some semblance of, this is what I'm saying, and I stick with it. If he changes his mind, he says it changes his mind.
Yeah.
Hannity's out of his mind and just will go with whatever he thinks, the most right faction or whatever the market research people at Fox tell him.
So speaking of the viewers, do you think when the regular viewers, the people that have been watching this guy, and it's millions and millions of people that are watching a night, do you think that the regular viewer that digs this guy is going, wait a minute, I know that he didn't believe that a couple of years ago, or they just don't care?
So the whole video. So there's Dave Rubin talking about not explicitly talking about, but his panel talking about like how crazy Sean Hannity is basically, and it's just so fucking embarrassing. Then you then contrast. There's loads of stuff, but like you then contrast it to
the host
this.
of the Sean Hannity radio show and author of the new book, Live Free or Die, America and the World on the Brink. Sean Hannity, finally, welcome to the Rubin Report.
No, well, thank you for having me. Thank you also because you have been an incredible addition to the TV show. We got to get you on radio more. We have a regular ensemble cast. You're now a part of that. Our audience loves you. The feedback's phenomenal. I know how popular this podcast is. You are outspoken, iconoclastic, a free thinker, independent, believe in freedom and liberty and free speech, and you're not part of the cancel culture and boycott and shut everybody down that you disagree with. And frankly, isn't it crazy that we conservatives are those guys that we're the ones, no, I don't want to cancel anybody, boycott anybody, or get anyone fired. Let people decide. Let people have freedom of choice.
Yeah, well, I suppose I could just let you go and say nice things about me, but I'll
keep
with
going.
that.
So how embarrassing. So the question is, what makes you go from someone who criticizes Sean Hannity, basically what people call him a dumbass on your show, and to being his best pal? Now, obviously, like, Dave Rubin, of course, takes so much money. It's clear, like, he's funded to say this shit. So Vargas saying they're not necessarily dumb or grifters, though in Dave Rubin's case, it is the case. Usually, it's that conservatives are wealthy themselves and want to preserve their wealth and privilege. Yeah, exactly. The answer is both. Dave Rubin talking about Hannity flipping on his beliefs is so meta. Yeah, exactly. Conservatives were pissed at Tucker for saying the election wasn't stolen, so they went to Newsmax. Yeah, that's how, like, it's crazy how much of a cult in terms of, like, they just want to live in this alternate reality. But it's scary how much they believe all this crap as well. So what am I shooting for? What's I going to say? So in Ben Shapiro's case, right? So this guy, like, went to Harvard. He's just a massive shithead. So let's just have a look at his Twitter quick. Just loads of pro-Israel stuff. And one of these guys, like, the Babylon Bee is just the worst form of satire. It shows that why conservatives are so shit at comedy. So he's just tweeting about loads of Palestinian stuff. This person is like the fucking worst in Scotland. But the thing is, right, like, obviously all this stuff they're tweeting right now is, like, obviously very easy to condemn, like anti-Semitic stuff, right? But the problem with these people is this is the same guy who says Arabs love to live in sewage and bomb stuff. He's not like an anti-racist who hates racism in all forms. He just hates anti-Semitism because he's Jewish and he wants, this state of Israel to exist, and he also uses it to muddy the waters as well. But this guy isn't an anti-racist. Like many conservatives, he only cares about it. Like conservatives who care about love to discriminate based on religion, but when they feel like they're being discriminated based on their religion, which they're not, they get all up in arms about it. It's only like when stuff affects them. So like obviously, yeah, the shit that he's retweeting, it's like very easy to condemn. And of course I do. Like I have a channel that spends so much time basically exposing ideologies and white supremacist ideologies that are inherently anti-Semitic and stuff. And I talk a lot about how much the Jewish people have suffered at the hands of these people. But then you have shit like this. Shapiro, if you side with Hamas, your anti-Semitism is showing. Who is siding with Hamas? Like, he's probably saying people, like, look, he's tagged Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, I am John Oliver, Trevor Noah. And the thing is, Ben Shapiro, this is why Ben Shapiro, like, is like a disgusting grifter, is that Ben Shapiro knows Hamas don't control all of Palestine. He knows that for a fact. So you can, and he knows Hamas aren't active in places like Jerusalem, for example, where a lot of this settler stuff is going on right now. But he's still writing crap like this because he's paid to write crap like this. So, you know, let's have a look at some more stuff. Tweeting his sister, who he's in love with. So yeah, this guy's a piece of shit anyway. Like, look at all the stuff he's tweeting. I'm trying to find actual tweets by him. Maybe it's not the best time to actually look at his page because it's all just pro-Israeli garbage. Pro Ben Shapiro. Yeah, there we go. This will be better. Okay, well, I thought it was a Ben Shapiro quotes page. It just seems like a Ben Shapiro fan page. I wanted a quote page. And Ben Shapiro simps are just like... Again, why do conservatives fucking love this crap? It's just not funny. We need to make a video about the Babylon Bee. Like, all this shit, like Lego unveils new genderless bricks with no female-male connectors. Like, is that meant to be funny? Does anyone find that funny? Here's a game. I'm gonna read a couple. Here's a game that will take forever. I'm gonna read Babylon Bee headlines and see if one makes me smirk. So survey finds 100% of Americans will continue to wear masks in Walmart bathrooms. Conservatives plaster walls with posters of AOC so he can constantly remind himself how much he hates her. I mean, is this meant to be comedy or satire? It's absolutely shit. Laid off American construction worker dresses up as Russians in hopes of getting job on new Russian pipe. How is this funny? I've already read that one. Hasbro releases new version of Operation where players just keep putting more masks on the patient. This is meant to be satire and comedy. What is funny about any of this stuff? I mean, this one's okay. Middle Eastern countries will now just lob giant sacks of American tax dollars at each other. I mean, that's okay. Not exactly that funny, though. Public school teachers looking forward to summer break after a long year watching Netflix. I mean, it's meant to be funny and satire, but this isn't even true because they've been doing online classes. Ocasio-Cortez disappointed to learn the free market isn't a grocery store where you don't have to pay for anything. I mean, like, seriously, this, like, no wonder Elon Musk likes this shit. It's like literally the most ridiculous crap, and like, it's not funny. It's not good satire. I don't even want to read these articles. Okay. We've got a bit off topic. We were talking about Dave drubbing. We were talking about Dave Rubin when it was time for his drubbing. Alright, let's read some more comments. Okay, Marshy is like a massive racist Zionist in my chat or something. Marshy, here's a question. Why do Hamas exist in the first place? Did they just one day, like how did they get elected in Palestine? Explain that to me, please. Hey, Katie, thanks for joining. Sorry, I'm reading some comments. The real genius behind Dave Rubin is his husband. Well, didn't they say they wanted his husband to stay at TYT? Blake saying, your videos on stuff like loot boxes showed me how contradictory conservative beliefs are. They blame outcomes of free market capitalism on the government and the left. Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, I'm a free market capitalist. Businesses can do what they want. Oh, you want to like cut up your product and sell it to me in little pieces, or introduce like a gambling mechanic in the video games? I have to pay more money. Oh no, now I don't like the free market so much. I want the government to regulate it and stuff. And the thing is, it's funny, like, you can, I guess, advocate for a capitalist system that has elements of like state capitalism and state regulation. I guess you could still call yourself a capitalist, but the distinction American conservatives often make is that they're free market capitalists. They're not just capitalists. They're not someone who wants maybe like mixed market, predominantly capitalist economy or a state capitalist economy. They're literally just like, yeah, I'm a free market capitalist, but now I'm going to complain when these giant corporations take advantage of elements of a country's free market to do what they want. So Ben Shapiro is not anti-racist, of course not. He's an absolute massive. He's one of the most racist political commentators. So I'm just reading more stuff. People who say the Babylon Bee is better than the Onion can't be trusted. It's just like factually not true. The Onion is actually legit funny, because a lot of comedy is going against the status quo anyway. Just making jokes shitting on trans people and leftists and like Arabs and black people isn't comedy. It's not even funny. But comedy is usually like I said, you've got to satirize either common things in society, or you're gonna try to like hold, I don't know, powerful to account in the way you show us how ridiculous it is, and that's sometimes how you find the comedy in those things. Bargain bin Onion, yep. Boomer level comedy. So Marshy saying they weren't elected. No, yeah, but Marshy, they were elected. They were elected, and then even Palestinian Christians voted for Hamas. So I don't know what you don't. Well, you obviously don't know what you're talking about. Their idea of a free market is batshit crazy. Yeah, it's like Bioshock. Yeah, Shapiro wrote for Breitbart and mocked Trayvon Martin's death. Yeah, exactly. Wait, why are you talking about an OnlyFans? What? How have we suddenly gone on to my OnlyFans? My OnlyFans would be pretty crap, to be honest. I was talking with someone today, actually. I was like, the Overton window in America and American conservatives, and I was like, someone like Ben Shapiro is like such a far right radical conservative in like any political like spectrum, but only in America. I had someone in the comments tell me he's a centrist, and I was like, he literally went on the BBC and spoke to one of the most hardcore conservatives in mainstream news in the UK, and then called him a leftist because he made him look so ridiculous. And that's like the state of US conservatism. And you know, I always say in my videos, people get funny about it. American conservatism, mainstream American conservatism, is a far right ideology. And I said the difference with the conservatives in the UK. Also, here's another difference: the UK conservatives just nationalised the railways in the UK. But anyway, the difference with the UK conservatives, I said this on my stream because I went on that Mike from PA's Twitch and we talked about this stuff. I said the difference with them is they're mask on I'll pretend to be like for diversity and inclusiveness. But with American conservatives, it's literally just like mask off white supremacy. If you see any of their policies and gerrymandering, institutional racism, the attack on things like critical race theory, trying to teach history like slavery wasn't even a big deal and stuff. So it's just like, I feel like someone like Ben Shapiro is so outwardly just racist. Like that video, I made videos on it before. Remember he made that video talking about like 900 million Muslims being like a threat to like the whole world, and they're going to take over and introduce Sharia law by cherry picking a bunch of statistics and then quickly listing loads of Muslim countries, and said like, let's apply the logic to all this stuff, and this is a very big problem for democracy. And then, do you remember when he also said, oh yeah, you liberals should be supporting war of Iran because you could free gay people in Iran, because obviously Iran's laws against homosexuality and like just the LGBT community in general, like really awful, and obviously sometimes result in death as well. And then people like, if you were in there, Ben, you would totally be one of them throwing gay people off the buildings, because you know Ben Shapiro, I don't understand. He doesn't care about gay people, LGBT people. So to think we're hypocrites because we don't support war of Iran to get rid of this like homophobic country's regime, and at the same time, in a war of Iran, lots of the LGBT community in Iran will also die. So we don't want to kill them. Like, I don't understand the logic of, if you support gay rights, you must also support wars with countries that are homophobic. Need I remind people, like, the US is also extremely, like, homophobic, transphobic, all that stuff, extremely racist. What is Ben Shapiro's logic there? Should all leftists in the US overthrow the government because it's racist and homophobic, like under Trump? Hey, I just got here. What did I miss? Not too much. We watched Dave Rubin 2013 versus 2020 and read the Babylon Bee. Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about now about the OnlyFans thing. Also, I was talking about like how much Americans are cucked by capitalism, but also specifically American conservatism. Because the thing with American conservatives, that's what I was saying with that in that Mike from PA stream on Tuesday. I was saying the UK conservatives have adopted some of the policies of like the left to become more populist, like nationalising the railways, and they've been talking now about a push for like free broadband, like Wi-Fi for people. These were ideas Jeremy Corbyn actually had in his manifesto in 2019. These guys like to talk about like all this crap because it makes them more popular, and they're actually doing some of it, to be fair to them. Not that it's a good version of it, but in America, it's like conservatives won't even pretend like they want to help you, and their whole ideology is just driven by culture war. And at the moment, it's like critical race theory, and it's like guns, and it's like abortion, Christianity. But at the same time, they're using that to stay in power while they rob you blind. And the thing with American politics is it's just so blatant, because obviously the Democrats are shit enough at that stuff. But with American conservatives, it's like, here's Donald Trump. Here is everything that is wrong with American capitalism right in your face. Here is a guy who's a career criminal, who's enriched himself through scamming people. And now you've elected him president. And what he does when he's president is just loot the country for himself. Use every privilege of the presidency just to enrich himself while barely doing any work. And I guess maybe for some Americans, that's the American dream right there. But it's like, and then not only do you vote him in, but you give him the second amount of votes a presidential candidate has ever had. Like Joe Biden, obviously the most voted president, then presidential candidate, then Donald Trump afterwards. So his reward for looting the country and trying to make your life worse is he gets nearly voted in again in record numbers, and obviously they're going to like gerrymander the state so bad, and you know, where the electoral college has made it close before, it's going to be even worse and stuff. And yet they still support them. And I was speaking with, he's probably gone now, Progressive American today, and I was like, I can't, because in the UK we have something called shy Tories, where people who vote Conservative are often ashamed to vote Conservative in public, but they'll maybe do it for financial reasons because of like lower taxes on the most wealthy and stuff. But in America, he was talking about like having roommates who are Trump supporters. And I was like, I cannot imagine living in a country where so many people just support like mask off racists, like blatant racists who are like robbing the country. So Revolutionary Comrade, thanks so much for the donation. I really appreciate it. Americans see Ben as a centrist and Bernie as a radical leftist. The country is dead. Well, they also see Joe Biden as a socialist, apparently. Katie, thanks so much for the donation. I'm feeling bad now. It's just giving me too much money. I was talking to a few co-workers today about healthcare, and one had to get $400 worth of root canal because she doesn't have dental insurance and couldn't pay the $1,500 for the whole procedure. Yeah, just like stuff like that is just so crazy. And that's even with like Joe Biden. It's like in 2021, an administration should be trying to get universal healthcare passed. Like if the UK has had it since 1948, plenty of other countries have had it for a long time as well. The US is the only system that can't do it, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the misconception is everyone who voted for Donald Trump was extremely poor, white working class, but it is like from the polling you can see loads and loads of white middle class voted for Donald Trump. But if you're like someone who is working class, who voted for him, or even for Joe Biden, but more so like someone like Donald Trump, it's like this guy wants to take away Obamacare, which is shit anyway. He wants to take away that, and you do not. And obviously, what the whole thing is, conservatives have a massive media apparatus in the US and the UK to indoctrinate people, brainwash people, convince them that the only way to live is by conservative so-called principles, economics. The left are crazy. They live in a fantasy land. They want to, the cultural Marxist shit they always talk about. We want to just make you say pronouns, or we're going to stick you in a gulag, according to Jordan Peterson. Just all this fucking crap. But yeah, I'm going to read some comments now. Sorry, I've missed a couple. When do you think there'll be an openly fascist or theocratic candidate running for office? I mean, it wouldn't be surprising. It's been coming for a long time. Trump was so in bed with white evangelicals and their massive, movement and everything. And like Reagan really unleashed that. So it wouldn't be surprising if you do get a candidate like that in the Republican primary. Yeah, Trump and Roger Stone selling pardons for 250 grand. Wouldn't let Gates buy one though. Yeah, that is funny. I need to read up about the Gates stuff more. Thingy saying, sorry, I just read one and it went really down. Our local government is so unpopular that the only people that shout at town meetings are insane. Yeah, I have seen some weird ass videos about like local politics in America. Pat saying US education system brainwashes people to believe that the divide between liberals and conservatives is the size of the government. Yeah, like I had arguments with people, and they were saying like to be a leftist is to mean you want governments to control everything. To be a conservative means you want freedom, and he said economics are essentially irrelevant to that. It's like, if you want freedom, you're conservative. If you want authoritarianism, you're a leftist or some shit like that. it is weird how that is like how some Americans view politics. Getting through dental here, nearly 5K. Yeah, in the UK, I'm trying to think. Like, you get it. It is shitty. You used to get dental on the NHS. I think you get it subsidised on the NHS if it's like I think you'd get like a serious surgery paid for by the NHS. But cosmetic stuff usually isn't. So Biden the Marxist. Yeah, Trump was only a populist in some of his rhetoric in 2016. Like, you can't say he's a populist when he was president for 4 years and did fuck all. Because, like, yeah, saying, let's not go to war, let's save money, all this shit, and then you become a president who not only emboldens, like, people like Netanyahu, and nearly create war with Iran, like, multiple times, you also do more drone strikes, drop bigger bombs, escalate places, in Syria and other places. So Trump being anti-war was total shit. He even like made it so the military didn't have to report the civilian casualties as much as they did under Obama. Completely got rid of the red tape. And also, saying he'll try the most hilarious thing. I know this is probably like such a repeated talking point. Saying I'll drain the swamp, getting in, and then just having all his cronies, like people who are not qualified for these positions in any stretch of the imagination, like Ben Carson as like HUD secretary, or like Betsy DeVos as education secretary, and all these absolute lunatics with no qualifications apart from they were rich and they funded his campaign, and he puts them in. And they basically like break every law which is meant to be like a check and balance on the presidency and the administration, to like just literally loot the country. Use Mar-a-Lago for like your diplomatic visit. So the entourage of another country's president will have to pay to use your hotel, which goes directly into like your bank account, while you make all your entourage also stay there. And yeah, Trump, literally obviously the most corrupt president of all time. But then it's like that people turn around and be like, that's our guy. You're using our tax money to fund like your own business. And yeah, just generally like an awful crazy person as well. So everyone, I think we have a Trump supporter in the comments. Brad Kitchen, the point of limited government is to protect political minorities and reduce the likelihood of an authoritarian government. Wait, aren't you a Trump supporter? So how was Trump for limited government? If you're making the argument Trump's conservative, how was Trump for limited government? What did the Trump administration do that was like limited government? You were saying Trump was a populist, so I assume you're a Trump supporter. My gov class basically said that exactly. With the size of the government, it just confused. Like, is American education so bad? This is the people teaching your government. Is that conservatism means freedom from government, where and leftism means no freedom. Yeah, Yeah, exactly. Conservatives want limited government, but are literally calling to make Trump king. Yeah, just like that Liberty hangout. Let's just make Trump king. Space Force. I forgot all about that, man. Yeah, nothing like limited government with Trump. What was that thing he created? Was it like the 1776 project, where you'd be forced to teach revisionist white supremacist history in school? Not that like a lot of people don't already do that anyway. So JR saying education is terrible here. In the South, there are places that teach the kids that the Civil War was about states' rights. Conservative beliefs are all myths. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, states' rights, but states' rights to own and imprison black people. All American beliefs and myths. Pat saying, went to high school pre-Trump, would love to see how my former teachers justified conservative movement adopting the George Wallace Dixiecrat platform and winning the same voters. Yeah, it's just like so crazy. Like, and I was also saying on the stream I did today, it's like, why are Americans, does politics become everyone's identity from such a young age? Why do high school kids who are like, or like middle school, why are middle school kids identifying as like Trump supporters? Obviously, like, you know, your parents are like a big influence on that and everything. But if a kid like was going around saying I'm a conservative in like year 9 or something, we were like, what the fuck's wrong with you, you weirdo? Like, why are you even talking about that shit? Thinking like you know about like politics and you're identifying as this stuff. But we're also talking about like it's a team sport. Like, you're pro Democrat or Republican, and it's just like, that's how normalized it is that like totally normal people will just vote for Trump because their family do it, and they don't think about like how awful this guy is, and it's like that's how they justify it to themselves. You just vote how everyone else votes, I guess. Yeah, that was so funny. Don't forget Ben Shapiro defending the British monarchy. Yeah, that was just like the most hilarious shit ever. Like, Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro simping for the Queen of England. So fucking ridiculous. Like, these guys aren't even like the patriots they claim to be. They just love being fucking racist, and they like the Queen of England and the British royal family for being racist to Meghan Markle, and that's pretty much it. And then Charlie Kirk was calling Prince Harry like an alpha, like a beta or a zeta male, and it's like, Charlie Kirk, Prince Harry, like, obviously I'm not happy he did this, but he like fought in Afghanistan on the front lines, and then and then he went back as an Apache helicopter pilot. I think like you're not in a position to call someone like that like if we're gonna go through these like toxic masculinity definitions. I don't think you're really in a place to call him a beta while you're probably identifying as an alpha just because you're conservative for some reason. Try to lean back on my chair a bit. Alright, so read some more comments. Yeah, libertarians just advocate for total corporate tyranny. I don't understand. Like, the free markets make you free stuff, right? Like, no regulations. Because here's the thing. I get to an extent that giant corporations often game the system in the sense that countries like America and the UK both have like the worst of state capitalism and free market capitalism, where a select few corporations will be really deeply in bed with the government, get like massive subsidies, be well connected within the government, and it's like one rule for them and one rule for the rest of everyone else. But then the little, you know, businesses and stuff have to compete on the free market. And then also you have things like obviously the US government puts money into drug development and research, but then those drugs get put on a free market system where these corporations are free to jack up the prices as much as they see fit, because unlike the UK, for example, America doesn't have a price regulation body. So getting approval for drugs is not based on the cost benefit like analysis or anything. It's just literally based on, does this thing is it safe? Does it work? Does it treat what you're saying and stuff? There are some other guidelines as well about like can it treat like another illness, and we'll give you an approval for that, or like is there another combination which works, and you have to prove that it does maybe work as well. But once you're in, raise the price as much as you want. And the funny thing is as well, like a lot of these corporations in bed with the government, they own the generic drug and they own the branded drug, so they can like control the price of this one product. So I get that to an extent with libertarianism being against that shit. But then like with a free market thing as well, with like no regulations, obviously the health threats to like having a free market system with no body to regulate like things that could really hurt the civilians is ridiculous. But then what stops, in a free market economy, East India Company and many other companies are just a bunch of individuals pooling their resources together to create a corporation and create an outlet that will dwarf the competition, buy up the competition, and will just dwarf the competition. So how does a libertarian economy, with no regulation, how does it stop corporations from just forming up? If I just have, if I have my product, I sell it in this free market, I get really big, I work with other people then, maybe we buy out everyone else and we just make this corporation. How is libertarianism stopping the worst of capitalism? In my mind, it will pretty much have the same results, apart from you won't even have any bodies to make you safe and regulate them. And conservatives often argument is like, what would happen to poor people? And then there's obviously like this eugenic style argument where if you've got nothing to offer the free market, what do you do? Just die? What if I can't work? What if I can't produce goods? What if I can't do any of those things? And conservatives, libertarians will say, well, then that's what charities exist for. Charities do not have the capacity to care for all these people. So then the burden is put on the individuals, and there's no service and there's no safety net for people who do not fit into this capitalist model. And then it basically, what it is doing, libertarianism in that regard, is human life and the worth of human life, just like in a capitalist system, so it's not too different, is about your ability to make money, and that's it. And if you can't make that money based on physical, neurological, any other kinds of health problems or disabilities, then you are simply not worth that much. And, maybe a charity will look after you, but if you have no government or limited government, then just, fuck off and die, basically, if you can't contribute to the free market economy. It's basically like what games like Bioshock are about, which we're going to be talking about tomorrow. So I'm reading some more comments. UK is evil. You're not going to get any disagreement from me. Do we really have to make this an anti-American, anti-conservative live stream chat? I mean, I haven't made it like that, but if people want to talk about this shit, I've got no love for America or conservatives, so... hi, Kennedy, thanks for joining. I'm an alpha female. I'm annoying and loud. That's what I guess that is the definition of an alpha female, to be fair. Am I a sigma male, Cav? Yeah, I'm a sigma male. I'm a lone wolf, but I'm still like a beta, basically. So I'm reading some more stuff. All right, catch up and stuff. Yeah, nothing wrong with being anti-American or anti-conservative. Yeah, exactly. I still don't understand Ashley saying my Fox News won't shut up about the royal family. I remember peeking at my grandmother's computer while I was playing Hades and Mine and saw one of the headlines. I think they just like the royal family because the royal family like racist and shit. That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah, those memes are funny about Irish Republicans versus like American Republicans. So being anti-conservative is good, actually. Yep, generally is 100% good. Sorry, other people talking. The American Republican Party 10 years from now will be no longer being seen the party of big business. Their voters increasingly associate large corporations with the elite. Yeah, no, they don't. They just think like, what was that thing Ted Cruz said about woke corporations? That makes me laugh so much. It's like, we're gonna go after the woke corporations. It's like, oh yeah, all those woke corporations built on exploitation of their workforce, but then put out like a message saying they stand with Black Lives Matter. Go for them all you want. The thing is, yeah, it's like they think like Bill Gates is like woke or some shit, or like Jeff Bezos is woke. They're like absolutely, their definition of this stuff is so crazy. But yeah, go after the woke corporations. I don't give a shit. All right, so I'm reading some more stuff. Oh, hey, Brent. Thanks for joining. Yeah, they get salty about corporate liberal pandering. That's it. Yeah, Strawberry. I agree. Kenny is saying police exist to protect property, not to help people. If the police system has to exist, it should exist to protect people, not protect property. We have to completely change how police function. Yeah, I've been saying this lately. Like it's the same in. I don't know if it's the same in America. I think it can be similar in some places. Basically, in the UK, you can't serve as a police officer in your local community for your safety. But then what you have is like middle class white police officers policing like poor minority areas of London, and basically you can act with impunity, and you have the racial dynamic there as well, where like there actually aren't many consequences for your actions because you're not accountable. Obviously, like I think like community policing is like a better way to go, and I've read some good stuff about like what, and you know, a reformed, like if we need like some sort of like police, what that looks like. And it doesn't look like the one now. Like police in the UK and US just feels like it's for a bunch of psychos to go get a power trip. And you know, I was thinking like when stuff happens to me before, like I've called the police when I've been like, you know, me and my friend were just like assaulted randomly by this drunk guy, just ran up to us like out of nowhere and just punched both of us so hard in the face. My friend got concussed. We called the police. This drunk guy goes across the road and starts a fight with the bouncer before starting a fight with all his friends as well. Call the police, they come, and they talk to the guy and then let him walk off. And it's like, what the hell are you doing? But just because they couldn't be fucked to deal with this guy. So, you know, the UK police have a reputation for being totally useless because they are. They're very good at brutalising Black Lives Matter protesters, though, and women going for a vigil for a woman who policeman murdered. That happened like 2 months ago. Like saying, I really like your videos on Metal Gear Solid, Kojima, and leftism. By the way, MGS is one of my favourite game series. Yeah, it's one of my favourite game series as well. I enjoy those videos. I got a couple more video game videos in my head. Haven't planned them yet. One on The Last of Us 2 and Israel-Palestine, which should be good, because the director of that game is Israeli and talked about Israeli politics influencing it. And then a Death Stranding one probably as well. So sorry, I'm just reading the comments still. I can't take Dave Rubin seriously. Michael Brooks will show that man's perception in my head. You just can't take him seriously because he seems to have the dumbest take on everything. Have I heard what's happening in Colombia right now? Yeah, I've been following it like relatively on the news. I don't have enough of an insight into it to talk about it properly. It is pretty crazy though. Like some of the videos I've been seeing from people on their phones. But yeah, I haven't been paying much attention to it. I've mainly been focused on the Palestine stuff. That's why I haven't really been talking about anything else. Like my last 4 videos are all basically on Israel-Palestine to some degree. See you later, Nathan. I wonder what the Tabernacle has in store with us. I don't know if you're talking about the stream. I started this a while ago, though. When did I start this? It's not coming up on my chat. Yeah, one sec. 44 minutes. Have I visited America? No, I've never been to America. I want to go one day. I may want to go to New York. Is Death Stranding any good? I really like Death Stranding. The people who like it really like it. Yeah, I thought the story was really good, but the gameplay is really fun as well. If you like Metal Gear Solid, I recommend. If you like MGS5, I recommend, although it's not exactly the same. Brad Kitchen trying hard to convince a bunch of lefties that conservatives are good. Kennedy saying Brad I was also conservative, and I think he's pretty much spot on. So actually, you're wrong. Well, he's trying to tell me that libertarian is good because it protects you. Libertarianism is good because it protects you from oppression. So 55 minutes ago, yeah, that's when I did it. I live in Manhattan, awesome. I just want to go because of Mr. Robot and like Mad Men and stuff. Bad Practice saying, it's hard because the media hasn't been paying much attention to Colombia even before Palestine. The only reason I understand is because I have Spanish family, I speak Spanish and have family there. Yeah, just like, just general American media stuff isn't very good for international issues, I guess, because, I don't know, someone was saying today, like, Americans just don't give a shit most of the time, even though Colombia is somewhere they definitely should, and American, like, imperialism in the whole, like, Latin American region is something that's, like, just been going on, it's been going on for, like, nearly 100 years, basically, probably longer. But yeah, like even I think just for me personally, I would have been reading about it more, just because of Israel Palestine. Just like I said, completely dominated the news and also my attention. Yeah, he was basically saying because the government doesn't exist to make deals with corporations, it protects you from it. But I said like corporations would still exist in a libertarian free market system, and then you just wouldn't have the government to do anything good for you. Like, there'd be no social safety nets. So, what's I going to say? What was I asking about today on the chat? I was asking about something. Oh yeah, this is kind of random pivot. Has anyone read a good book about Tito, obviously the leader of Yugoslavia? Only because I was reading about his life from Wikipedia, and I was like, I don't know enough about this guy, so I wanted to read a book, but I haven't really found much about him. If anyone's got a good book recommendation for Tito, put it in the chat comments. Also, what I want to talk about today was, oh yeah, like, here's a fun thing we'll do. I'm going to see if I have many comments on this, because lately, I explained this, I think, the other day, I've just been getting loads of fucking comments on my old videos from racist pieces of shit. So, this is my Rhodesia video, and this is funny. Has anyone seen Blood Diamond?
Sure.
90 bones.
And then the thing is, like, people were getting pissed. That was willing. So let me explain this to you. So these guys are gun YouTubers. This guy's from Forgotten Weapons, I think, called Ian, and he makes good content. I wasn't calling him like any sort of white supremacist. And like, look what's been happening. Look, I got 1.5k, and I got this largely in like the first month, and I got 900 dislikes. Annoyingly, because I want to make a video on the response to this video, I've been banning most people who comment saying white supremacist shit about Rhodesia. But this guy's called Larry Vickers, and people getting butthurt is because I called him out in the video because he said some shit like the fall of Rhodesia was the single biggest tragedy of the post-war period. So the fall of like a white supremacist state. Yeah, look, he was repeatedly referred to the fall of Rhodesia as the greatest tragedy of the post-World War II era. Like, what a fucking racist, man. And then he's just posting, he's like a massive simp for Rhodesia. Like, also, here's another thing. People were getting butthurt. So the Rhodesian army used to call the communist forces floppies for the way they flopped when they died, right? And people were saying it's not a racial slur in that context. And then, like saying, oh, it was just a word to describe the rebels. But when you have, like, a predominantly white army in, like, an apartheid state fighting black rebels and then calling them floppies, do you not think that dehumanization of them is going to translate into something racist? Like, I think the Japanese used to be called the Dinks by, was it the Japanese or I forget who, but, like, I think it was either the Japanese or the Vietnamese originally were called the Dinks, and it's like a mispronunciation of like an actual Vietnamese word or something. But of course, like dink or gook becomes like a racial slur because of the context it was used in, even if the word itself, because that's how language works, right? Like, I'm not sure of the exact history of like the N-word and stuff, but I wouldn't be surprised if the N-word came from like Negro, which is obviously the Spanish and Portuguese work or something similar for for just the black color, and it was used for black people. But then it becomes like a dehumanizing term because that's the way language works. So yeah, you can say that like, oh, floppies was just used to describe the rebels, but when you're a white apartheid state fighting black communists, like exclusively black communists, and calling them one thing, that is how like racist words become like a thing in the first place. Like, don't need to educate people this much. But then you had loads of simps for Ian Smith, who was the leader of Rhodesia. So I've just been getting loads of fucking comments lately. But like I said, I've deleted most of the worst ones. So you have shit like this, like, as a South African whose father and uncles fought on the border, I'm proud of them. My mum's side is a couple roadies. Long story short, we are not racist, yet we are proud of our heritage, and we also fought Nazism. A few bad apples' use or image for their own delusion doesn't mean we share their values. And it says, long live Rhodesia. So these guys all simp for like a dead white supremacist state. And the only thing they say they fought the Nazis because Ian Smith fought in World War II, who's the leader of Rhodesia. That's actually the only thing they like to say they're not racist. So like, there's no apartheid in Rhodesia. This clown really doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, so like basically all these comments telling me how wrong I am. I have deleted a lot of them. So that I simp for Rhodesia because I love the movie Blood Diamond. Well, you probably are alt-right or racist because in Blood Diamond, the film with Leonardo DiCaprio, the Rhodesians like are the bad guys in it. So yeah, basically, and what is interesting about what people say about this and in my South Africa video is because they say because of the economy was better in Rhodesia and apartheid South Africa, that means we should go back to that system because the economy was better. But it's like the economy wasn't better for black people, and let's in hypothetically, let's even say the economy in Rhodesia and apartheid South Africa was amazing, like best economy that Africa's ever seen. Why do you need to go back to apartheid? Like, why do you need to go back to a system where blacks and black Africans are second-class citizens, where whites and like, you know, Boers and everything like that, where they're in charge? Like, why do you have to go back to that system for these countries to have a good economy? But then that just shows their mask off racism, is that these guys always say this shit. And yeah, because I see some South Africa comments. Like, apartheid South Africa was awful, present day South Africa is worst. So just, like, you know, the only context they often use is the economy. And yet, like I say in both these videos, I'm not defending the government of Zimbabwe and saying, like, Mugabe was sick or something. I'm not in this video saying I support like the corruption that is like endemic in South African politics, particularly the ANC and stuff. I'm not supporting that thing or that stuff, but it's clear, like, if you're just a genuinely like rational person who's not a fucking racist, that apartheid in both these countries is bad. Is that even like controversial to say apartheid is bad? But in these comments, they're saying, you know, I'm totally wrong, beta male. What is it? All these people have like weird classical statues and they're all racist. So anyway, it's just like all these videos, these two in particular have gotten people like really butthurt and really offended. And which is funny because I'm thinking like, if in the Rhodesia video, I'm like, if you were born when Rhodesia stopped being a country, you'd be 41 nearly, at least you'd be 41. If you were actually alive in Rhodesia as an adult, you'd be like nearly 60. So I'm guessing a bunch of 60-year-olds aren't commenting on my videos. It's like fucking 20-year-olds or teenagers talking about Rhodesia, a country that didn't exist before they were born. It's like the Confederacy or some shit. Alright, I'm going to read some comments now. 900 dislikes, spicy, yeah. Yeah, fucking Rhodesian stands, exactly. Okay, yeah, Red Leader, I haven't got any recommendations on Tito either, so I'm annoyed about that. um, sorry, I'm just reading some more comments. Alright. Everyone is streaming now. Is it Prime streaming hour? I think you're thinking of Gook. Okay, I think you're thinking of Gook, which came from the Korean word Han Gook, which I think meant person or Korean person. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. So thanks, David. So yeah, like this is what I was thinking of, and it's like obviously the term has like a legitimate use, but when you're just using it to generalize like Asians or Vietnamese as they're the gooks, it's purposely language used to dehuman. Actually, yeah, it came from the Korean War, and then they also used it in Vietnam. So they're calling the Koreans and the Vietnamese gooks. And like David's saying, Han Gook means Korean person, but if you're a white American fighting a war against these people and calling them the gooks or the dinks and stuff, while that technically might not be racist, like without any context, that might not be racist. The same way that floppy is not racist out of context. If you're using this in a war scenario to dehumanize people who are specifically a different race of people to you, then yes, of course that can be seen as a racial slur. It's so ridiculous to be like, oh, well, floppy just means they flop when they die. But then you're literally like a white apartheid army. And the only defense they have is that some black soldiers fought in the Rhodesian army. But I've also read reports that a lot of them were forced to fight as well. And they're saying this is proof that Rhodesia wasn't racist. And I'm like, you do know like there were integrated units of black Americans and white Americans in the Korean War. What are you saying? That proves that in the 50s, America wasn't like a Jim Crow segregated country, because it was. Just because one institution is desegregated doesn't mean the whole country is somehow not racist. Katie's saying, why would anyone be proud of being a settler colonialist? The thing that's even worse about Rhodesia, it's not just a settler colonialist nation. It's actually a nation that was essentially created by a corporation. I think it's like, I forgot what corporation it is. Maybe like the South African Company or some shit like that. But it's literally a territory founded by a giant corporation, like an imperialist corporation. And of course, like people like Cecil Rhodes are involved in it. Imagine simping for a dead white apartheid nation that was originally formed by a corporation. It's just so, and these guys are trying to tell me they're not racist and stuff. Yeah, roadies are like Confederates of their heritage, not hate. Nathan Drake saying, speaking of historical revisionism, Bad Empanada had a run-in with a British amateur historian who claims that Argentina covered up the death of thousands of soldiers in the Falklands War. What does he does the British historian say that Argentina covered up the deaths of thousands of Argentine soldiers? Jack saying, I think you throw the term racist around too much. I mean, even if that was true, are you seriously telling me that people who simp for a dead apartheid state that's been irrelevant for 41 years, you're telling me those people aren't racist? Literally people who look back at an apartheid state and think it was good. And like I said, most people who are in these comments aren't from Zimbabwe. They literally, I don't have a bunch of 60-year-old men who fought in the border wars popping up in my comments telling me how great Rhodesia was. It's literally a bunch of little, and like Dylan Roof like was a simp for Rhodesia and stuff. This isn't like some sort of Rhodesians veterans Facebook group which has linked this stuff. Wait, what? People talking about haircuts? So someone else saying, I'm saying that's racist, they're racist. Are you guys fucking for real? We're talking about apartheid South Africa and apartheid Rhodesia, and people who like to say that they wish those countries could go back to apartheid, a completely racist, government style of government. And me calling those people racist is apparently me throwing around the term racist too much. I'd hate to see what you guys think is actually racist when you think that simping for a country that not only had apartheid, but also fought other wars against other African countries to fight African communists and stuff. Kennedy's saying people call things racist when they're racist. And the reason you might hear me talk about racism so much is I make loads of videos about fascism. So when I'm an anti-fascist making videos about fascist groups, what am I just meant to not talk about racism? And if you're talking about like Ben Shapiro said Arabs love to bomb things and live in sewage. Ben Shapiro has like generalized all Muslims in the world as like some sort of like death cult hell bent on destroying the West. Ben Shapiro was like celebrating the deaths of people like Trayvon Martin. Me calling him someone like that racist who's never apologized or sought to like make amends for the shit he said in when he was the same age as me, remember? Calling him racist, I have no problem with doing that. Yeah, but yeah, please, like Finn's saying, please tell me how these simps for apartheid aren't racist. Yeah, Kennedy, it's fucking weird. Like simping for states anyway. It's a guy who says British history isn't proud enough. Well, so Nathan and Red Leader, is this guy trying to say that the British actually killed way more in the war, and that's a good thing or something? Let's read some more things. Apartheid is inherently racist. Yeah, exactly. If anyone who's a simp for Rhodesia or the Confederacy or apartheid South Africa or anything like that is probably not even probably. It's like 99% sure they're a weird racist or they're like a fucking idiot kid. Conservatives think that anyone that talks about the racism they purposely ignore it disagrees with them. In reality, history disagrees with their ignorant beliefs. Also, like it's just a weird thing. Like it was a whole thing back then, wasn't it? It's like the left just say anything's racist, but now they've taken that logic and been like, well, the left just call anything racist when we're literally calling like outward racism to like in American police. Sam Harris. I because I think like someone's dad told me to listen to Sam Harris's take on like Black Lives Matter, and I was suspect anyway because I was like, well, I remember when he was saying how bad they were like in 2015 in like Ferguson. So let's have a read. He was basically trying to say that none of the cops are motivated by racism, and I was like, this is like what we're dealing with here. People who think we're hysterical lefties calling that racism are people who also think like not calling people who love apartheid racist is wrong, or saying that the police in America aren't motivated by racism and stuff. Katie's saying Sam Harris's takes on anything after cancer. Pat fought in the Boer War. Damn, Pat, you're like you must be like over 100 years old. sorry, I'm reading some more comments. My distaste for war is what drives my politics. Yeah, that's also like something people get confused when they're like, oh, Tulsi Gabbard's the anti-war candidate. It's like, nah, she's anti-US intervention. She's not like anti-war. Because anti-war is people who like anti-violence, anti-conflict, not people who like, yeah, let's not waste American money and lives in war, but I'll support like other gross shit. Oh, some more comments. Yeah, in the minds of American conservatives, Obama was the guy that brought back racism rather than the guy that lost their minds because we elected the black guy. Yeah, exactly. It's like, do you remember they used to say like, Obama better not like racialize the presidency by talking about like race and like and was that like poll that said Obama made racism worse or some shit like that, like by talking about it. Like Americans, man, like Trump, not completely, but in part, is obviously like a massive reaction to Obama being the first black president. Hi, Zaid. Zaid, can you tell me, not that we're talking about, because I don't know if you replied to this, who was the person you were referring to, the game journalist thing? I won't give the context, so it doesn't feel like you're calling them out, but who was the person you were talking to? Is the person I replied saying who it was? The one who said they couldn't criticize America or they might lose their visa or something. So Bruce Grobbler, Liverpool goalie, fought for Rhodesia in the Rhodesian War. What the hell? That's an interesting crossover, especially with Liverpool. Yeah, when Obama removed the statue of Winston Churchill from the White House, people lost their shit. Yeah, like there's so much tribalism in America with that stuff, and just like a failure to, like, how depressing is it? Oh, okay, that's interesting, Zaid. I thought it was. Thoughts on Vosh calling David Pacman a Zionist? Well, isn't David Pacman an Israel supporter? Yeah, that's what Zaid was saying. Sorry, I'm just reading some more comments. I mean, David Pacman eventually came out with his Israel take. Also, David Pacman was saying, I watched an old video. I showed you it last time. So if you type in David Pacman Israel, so go watch this for yourself because I'm not gonna play it on stream. Basically, he says that like Black Lives Matter supporting BDS is like hinging on anti-Semitism, and Black Lives Matter saying Israel is racist against black people is wrong, because he said try being a black person in Gaza. That is actually his response to that stuff. Like totally ignoring Israel's own racism to like black Ethiopian Jews and stuff. So Frill House, what did Pacman say about Israel-Palestine then? He seems very both sides and neoliberal shilly. Oh yeah, people lost their shit over Obama wearing a tan suit. Will I expose yellow fash? Probably not. Oh, also guys, look at the fun I get to do in a sec. So when I leave the stream, despite it being really late, look what I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch this for an hour because this is what my video is gonna be on tomorrow. It's these two playing BioShock because I just want to talk about how they missed the complete point of BioShock. But yeah, I'm gonna have to sit through 2 hours of this over the next day to make my video, and I'm really fucking dreading it. I got my notebook ready. I got it all ready to make the notes. Like, I don't know if any of you follow me on Instagram, but I made like, where is it? I made so many notes. Is it this one? I made so many notes about the Sam Harris Jenk video. but that's what I'm going to be doing after this. I wanted to do some knee rehab, but I guess I'm just going to be sitting at my desk watching Abby Shapiro play Bioshock. Oh, Chris, I had never even considered that. Thank you so much. I'm such an idiot because I don't use YouTube on desktop so much, and just because for so long you couldn't speed up the speed on the mobile app. Yeah, Pac-Man has been bad for a long time. Bro, why do you do this to yourself? Yeah, I really don't want to do it to myself. I've been putting it off for like ages since I made the last one. I will watch it. Well, you guys are lucky because I'm going to watch 2 hours and condense it into like a 30-minute video where probably only like under 10 minutes will actually be footage. Pouring lemons in my eyes so I don't have to watch Abby's videos. What are my posters on the wall? So, can you see my pen? These were Cyberpunk like postcards you got with the game. That's like Grimes, his character. Then there's like some things. That's like a cool, like, there's this artist who makes like really interesting like posters for films. That's a Last Jedi. That's Civil War, Captain America. I got 2 Blade Runner ones because I love that movie. I'm actually going to see a double bill of Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049 in August. It's so annoying how in England they never play old movies, so I'm going to go see that again in the cinema. That's the Witcher 3 map. That's Vinyl, the HBO show by Martin Scorsese. That's Man in the High Castle. That's Rocky. No, that's the Creed. That's a poster, a voting poster for Labour back in the 2019 election. There's some more cyberpunk stuff there, like Samurai poster. It's Keanu Reeves banned the game. And then there's my F Society mask there, Mr. Robot. And yeah, there we go. There's all my little posters behind my wall. Phrasemonger saying, "Hey man, I just discovered your channel and it's awesome. Keep up the work." Thanks so much. I really appreciate you watching this stuff. Always nice people reaching out with nice words as well. Hopefully I'll keep you entertained for the future. What videos in particular have you watched? Oh my god. It's getting light out now here. Wait, I want to show you guys. Let's keep it. Because it's 4:30 because I stream really late tonight. I want to hear more about the Fringe Chud enclaves. I've got one about the alliance between like South Vietnamese like migrants to the US and like Confederate simps. Yeah, doxed. I've just doxed myself. Everyone can see there's a big forest. So hell yeah, an influencer I like shares my taste in video games. Yeah, Cyberpunk was really, really good. I'm actually listening to Cyberpunk right now. I like it so much. I actually downloaded someone who made like an ambient track for like the shack in Cyberpunk when you're hiding from the storm with Pan Am, played with the music in that scene, and it's like an hour long. So I downloaded it and uploaded it to SoundCloud just so I can listen to it. That's how much I love Cyberpunk. I wonder if Kavanagh will ever give his own take on the aesthetics of fascism. I think Hugo, how do you say it? Hugo Pinnick did he did a good one. Yeah, the aesthetics of evil fascist uniforms. Damn, his views are crazy, man. Maybe I will. I kind of want to talk about like the classical architecture fascists and stuff. Imagining it being 5 a.m. So Phrasemonger saying, I watched some of your videos on the whole anti-SJW movement in gaming. I hate other communities infested with that type of community. Yeah, man, it really sucks. Like, Angry Joe is one of the better ones, and he still can be such a chud on stuff like The Last of Us 2, or like military having Twitch streams and stuff. You open it, my dude, my freaking guy. Yeah, me and him follow each other on Twitter and stuff. We spoke a bit in Twitter DMs and everything, so we're cool enough with each other. Yeah, Finn, Finn, did you watch my Anglo-Saxon video? I made one about that whole issue, just about how it's all about like the politicization and how white supremacists have used the term Anglo-Saxon. But yeah, it's a very interesting topic, especially as I've been getting more into Anglo-Saxon history with like Assassin's Creed Valhalla and also Vikings. I've been watching a bit as well. All right, see you, Matt. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks for the thumbs up. Where is it? Yeah, it's been nice. It's been nice to play Assassin's Creed Valhalla in Ireland because that's the new DLC. So this is me when I wake up in the morning before going on Twitter, and then this is me when I'm done for the day. I actually burnt down this village, sadly. It was hiding a bunch of cultists in it. But yeah, I am enjoying that at the moment. The Viking boo should be nice. I've kind of done that already with the pagan shit, but I could do another one. Yeah, the thing with Anglo-Saxon is, of course, like it refers to the Angles and the Saxons, but through like hundreds of years, it kind of became like a broader term for this like one group of English elite. Because obviously the Anglo-Saxons, as we come to know them as like the rulers of England, essentially, are like the first of like the modern like English. Although like you had loads of Celtic groups in the British Isles before, you know, the Romans came and the Angles and the Saxons came and stuff. Yeah, see you later, Katie. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks so much for the donation as well. Have a good weekend. So I think Israel should be set up for all three Abrahamic religions. So you want a secular one-state solution, I'm guessing. Kudos to you for doing all this research, and thanks for running the truth. Oh, that's nice of you, Chandler. Thanks so much. And we're gonna balance that out with a Bioshock Abby Shapiro video tomorrow. Yeah, in America, it's kind of like shorthand for white. It's been, you know, in the UK, like in the video I talk about this stuff, how Anglo-Saxon has been used for racism for a long, long time in Britain, but it's a more like American term these days and stuff. Watching from Central Oregon, the main state of Antifa. Yeah, Oregon's pretty crazy for that stuff. How long are we going? 88 minutes? It's like an hour and a half. All right. Well, I think I kind of have to go. Wait, actually, Giro, what do you mean remember you? I remember you being in another stream. I don't know if you've had a different name though. Tito saying, I hope you make videos of Cuba. I like learning about my mother country and how Americans treat the country. Yeah, maybe I will one day. But yeah, basically, yeah, I got to go off and watch this Abby Shapiro video. I am tired as well, actually. And then hopefully get that out tomorrow. And then I'm done for the week. Me and my girlfriend might live stream our podcast on Sunday, actually. Because we have been doing a podcast. I know I've grown a lot since me and her have done it. But yeah, maybe we'll live stream it and then we can take some questions at the end, like live. Might be quite fun to do. I don't envy that task. I changed my YouTube this week. Okay, when people change their names, I kind of forget who you are, I guess. Later, Cav, good night. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, thanks so much for everyone for coming. Have fun with Abby. Epi, I stream Tuesday and Thursday, but the times kind of change. Like, I'm doing it late tonight. Normally I stream about between 1 and 3, and sometimes a bit earlier if I have to. You like imagine drinking. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, main AO. Anyway, yeah, thanks so much everyone for joining the stream. Hope everyone has a good weekend, and if you are interested, please look out for the Abby Shapiro video tomorrow. Hopefully I get it done. All right, guys, thanks so much. Anyone who donated, thanks a lot, and thanks for all the